all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. That's right. What up? It's Talk Shit Tuesday. Yes, sir. What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Big shout out to everybody out there in the Shark Tank. What's up? What up, what up, what up? Let's check this out. Hey, what's up? Y'all know what time it is. Talk Shit Tuesday. Appreciate everybody for showing up on this Tuesday. Y'all know what time it is. To all my people out there on the back street, roll them up, get that drink together, sit back and enjoy the show. Hey, look here, fellas. Let me get my big shout outs right quick before I get started here. Big shout out to my main man, Mr. William Torres in the house. What up, fam? Mr. 216, I see you, fam. Yo, 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 Styles. Kennels in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to my main man, Mr. Derek Lockett in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out. Shake that like button on your way in. My man, Mr. The one and only Melee new suspect, Kennels in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. William McNeil in the house. What up, fam? Yo, the green team's in the house. Where you been, fam? Appreciate you showing up, fam. Hey, y'all, hold on. Let me forget my man, Mr. John Dembry in the house. Can't forget John. What up, fam? Hey, look, man. Y'all know we had that serious, I don't know what you want to call it, superstorm or, I've been through some hurricanes, so that wasn't the worst of the worst, but dang, that water ain't nothing to be playing with, big, to all my peeps out there, lower part of Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, we're going through that monster of water that's coming through. Hope everybody make it out all right. Hope the dogs make it out all right. But I know it's been like a trying time sitting back waiting on this shit to get over. Shit come in and act like it don't want to go. So I know all my people out there with them bulldogs in them certain areas, I know how you feel. It can be a very stressful time. You know what I'm saying? My shout out to my heart goes out to you. Hope everything is all right, but I'm sending my blessings because I know what it's like. Feel your pain. Make sure I got everybody. Now, hey, I'm finna go off subject right quick. I don't know how many of y'all seen the fights over the weekend. I like it. I like the fights over the weekend. Two of them, all them fights was good. And I'm talking about the boxing. I seen, like my man, I was a fan of my man Pitbull Cruz. I'm going to start with him. Big fan of him. Kind of, because he was the type of banger he was. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for him to, I could understand why Tank was kind of like dodging, didn't want to give him that rematch. Made it a little bit hard for him to get a rematch. Because I love Tank too. But if those who seen the Pitbull Cruz and the Tank fight, that was a good ass fight. And I felt like it should have been, it would have been good for a redo. Because, Pitbull went to come through there and, he been smashing everybody. But one thing I noticed about Saturday night when I seen the type of fighter in the first couple rounds, me and my wife, she's a boxing fan also. But I said, because again, I'm hyping her up on Pitbull. I'm thinking he finna go in here and smash this dude. My big thing is, Tank don't want to get in there and give that boy that business because, that boy, he hit hard too. But first couple of rounds, I noticed Pitbull in there with a boxer. I mean, literally a good boxer. And I said, you know what? Tonight he might have a problem on his hands. You know, I was just telling my wife. She said, I thought you was all hyped up about him. I said, yeah, but this boy right here, he can box. And he got movement. And that's just one of them things that when it all come out in the end, me personally, I really thought Cruz lost. Even though it was a good, close, tight fight, you know, that boy, he just outboxed Cruz. Cruz couldn't do what he was known to do to other people because they wasn't, other people be standing in front of him, and he probably do throw hard. Even though, I love Tank too now. And Tank been in there with some boxers, but not that type of boxer. That type of boxer to know how to, just in shape, first of all, who can take a punch, second of all, and then know how to move. That right there was a big, big difference. Because I thought that last fight that Tank had, he was going to be in there with a boxer. But, he didn't move like this boy did against Cruz. And that made the difference. And which takes me to styles make great fights. Different styles just make great fights. And that was just one of them when you had the right style on a bruiser. Mike Tyson was a hell of a he was a punisher. But it seemed like he always had problems with good boxers. And then once you got that chin rock, it's like your body don't forget that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And that brings me down to the Terrence Crawford, the finale fight. Again, good fight. Terrence, he deserved to win, hands down. But I gotta agree, anybody who's seen that, you going up in weight class, and we all understand, styles make good fights. We also understand what it takes to move up, a little ahead of, when you're moving up too fast. Weight does make a difference. I don't care how much, me being a wrestler, I understand how it was to try to maintain a certain weight, got comfortable season after season, but as I was getting older, that weight was hard to maintain. But I didn't jump up no 4 weight classes. It took me a year to get up, just move up from 98 to 105. And even then, when I was wrestling at 105, my weight was 117. So I might wrestle on a Thursday, and by Friday, Saturday, I'm back up to 115, 116, because now I'm rehydrating my body just to have to work my way back down by the next Thursday. And boy, oh boy, when I say the more that season went in when I was trying to maintain that 105, because midway the season, I think our highest we could get to was at 105 was 107. It would still be like 105, but I had to be down to that 107, the day before. And that took steam rooms, plastic bag thing, just, the whole run and sweat, the whole spitting in the cup, ounces just trying to get off them last. That shit was rough, man. Now you think about what boxers got to go through. I think we had 3 minute, you know, yeah, we had what we called like 3 minute rounds. 3 minutes, we both up, and then 3 minutes, I'm down, and then the next 3 minutes, your opponent's down. That was that was some time. 3 minutes is a lot of time when you're exerting yourself. But the thing was, I watched how Crawford made that fight look hard because you could tell that boy could punch because you didn't see Crawford really getting in there, locking in. I know the guy had a weird kind of style, but he had that right style to hold Crawford at bay, and he had enough power that Crawford knew that weight made a difference. And that just leads me to think that you trying to go up another weight class after Canelo, and I don't think, Coelho been up there a little bit, and he pretty well adjusted to that weight. And that takes me back, like I said, man, styles make great fights. But when you trying to got so much against you, dealing with the weight situation, and then you run into the right type of person who done settled in. We used to deal with that with them bulldogs like that. To me, I look at, maybe that's why I like UFC. I just like combative sports simply because I know what it takes to be able to maintain and do the things that they do on such a high level. Because then again, bull is so much like the bulldogs. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you had to know your fighter. You really didn't care about the different style until you got there and you realized the kind of style that you was dealing with. And then sometimes you knew what kind of dog you were going into because you done seen it before, and you'd be like, I got the perfect kind of dog to deal with that. Until that time come, and then you realize, this ain't as easy as I thought it was gonna be. Them be the ones you be sitting up there doing this, shit. That bad boy right there. I wonder how long he can keep that up, type of situation. So I just thought the boxing just brought me so much to just looking at some of them fights that night, which were great fights. But then in the same token, it took me back to, styles still do make great fights because, I've seen a lot dealing with these dogs. And we've always said styles. The only difference is you never knew what you were going to run into unless you picked what you were going after. I knew this, and I think we can do this, and we're going to bring that. And it still sets up for good shit. And I thought that those fights that night just brought me back to the moments where, a good style will totally, bring a puncher, a counter puncher, a hard counter puncher, make them look, real bad. Because Nasty Cruz didn't look good. He couldn't do what he wanted to do, because of movement. That's like, so many of them dogs that get on that ear. I mean, judo was one of the best ear, head, and face dogs that I have over all the years. I mean, he had the perfect name because he knew how to stay out of trouble. The dog was just phenomenal. When I say he could grab the side of your face and you be pushing, and he knew where the wall was. I mean, the dog would literally walk the walls. I mean, back leg, walk the wall. The dog would have his legs way back here. And the thing about it, he could bite. I mean, he could bite hard, and not too many went with him. I think when we got him down to his right weight, he was dismissing shit. Remember, we went in the Jughead out of the New York. He did pick up his championship, but he didn't pick it up on us. He was going for his championship, and Gito stopped his ass in like 47 minutes. But what made him stand? I mean, he went on to win his championship, and I seen him, but I knew what his problem was. He couldn't adjust to that dog in his face, and he couldn't. Just got totally frustrated. That's why he stood that line. He didn't even make an attempt. He just got frustrated, and you could really kind of tell because with judo you had to just to even get the scratching started. Mo would have to basically send him in, literally get him off the head and send him in somewhere. When dogs get frustrated, they tend to just stand there, be scared to move. Mo could get him all worked up, and then dog stand on him, and Judo would do this crazy ass shake, and then Mo would point, and then he would shake, and then he would make that move. And as he would get ready to make that move, Mo would snatch him. But Judah was another one of them dogs who was trained to listen. Stayed out of trouble, but he listened. And it was sad to see him get stolen. But that was, again, the Jughead and Judo fight was a good fight. Just like I felt like Red Ace and Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy was breaking shit up. 4-time winner. Never went over 20 minutes. But then get in there with a dog like Red Ace who wasn't trying to fight. But when I say styles make great fights, Tommy Boy wasn't ready for that dog when that dog decided to get rid of her ass because she couldn't keep Red Ace out her back end. And I mean, when she was getting back there, she was destroying it. She was working from left to right. And there wasn't nothing that Tommy could do to keep her out. And this was a dog. Tommy was a dog now that was used to just monstering over shit, but couldn't keep up with that one. So those are things that when I'm watching boxing or fighting, and I just look at, okay, certain styles, certain advantages and disadvantages when it comes down to doing certain things. It's something to watch, And I just thought I'd bring that up because I was real intrigued over the fights this weekend. I thought there were some really, really good fights. Let me see who else got in here. I see some more of my fellas up in here. Well, let me give a big shout out to the 260 boys in the house. What up, fam? The incomparable Eli Monster in the house. What up, fam? My man, Mr. Burning Star up in here. What up, fam? Robo, I see you, fam. Let me see. Eli Monster, you say Tyson was a straight bulldog when he was young in the game. I will put him against Ali. Again, remember what I said. Ali was a boxer. Remember that. Ali knew how to stick and move. Remember, Larry Holmes was a great boxer. He wasn't no bulldog. I mean, he was a bulldog, but he was a boxer. That jab would eat you up, and then they had power. See, to me, Floyd was a good boxer. Boxers who know how to do defense, and they just have this, they got offense, but then when you got offense and know how to move, that movement makes a big difference. Even like I was telling y'all about judo. Uh, to me, Brat was, she wasn't a bully. She was just a good, like a good boxer. I mean, regardless of how you come, her aggression wouldn't allow you to control her. You know, y'all remember, for those who are old enough to remember, back in the day, you had Wilford Benitez, you had Roberto Duran, you had Marvin Hagler, you had Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, you got power punchers, and then you had boxers that was matching up. I mean, and for me, back in them days, that time period, there was a lot of great boxers, a lot of great fights back in those time periods. You know, Ali, he got up in age, so you could, you know, he wasn't the same Ali when, you know, even when he fought Frazier. Remember, Frazier was that bulldog. You know, Frazier broke Ali's jaw. You know, but look what happened to Frazier when Ali came back the second time. Ali went back to doing that box, bam, 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 stick and move, hold him off, bang, 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 you know, put him out of there. Same thing he did with George Foreman. You know, that boxing, that rope-a-dope was something new to the game because he was a thinker. You know, let him wear himself down and then it's my turn. You know, dogs be thinking like that too. Remember that? To me, that's how I felt that Pretty Mama was. The rougher you was with her, the faster she was going to dismantle you. The more that she could control you, the longer the fight was going to go, because at that point in time, you know, when she got control, she's the bully. Another great one that used to be like that was, you know, Wilford Benitez. If you guys knew who Wilford Benitez was, I think when he fought Sugar Ray, he was a great fighter. But he also was one of them hard, straight ahead, cruise type fighters fighting somebody like Ray. You know, getting into them later rounds back then, I think they was doing like 12, 13, I mean, even 15 round fights, and whew, you know, those were great fights back then. But I always relate to like the fights that I seen, like the great ones, like the great Pepper, who was a total monster, and then she gets in there with a dog like Queen of Heart and get totally annihilated. You know, and after all the shit that I seen, and for that one time, that was my first time ever seeing the Queen, and I could almost imagine everything else. I could just imagine everything else that came after what she did to Pepper, because Pepper to me was an exceptional, very smart, very talented, knew how to stay out the way, and had the right everything. But against Queen, and this is the dog now, against Queen, she never got, it's not like she never got started. She didn't have a chance to get started. That's how dominating Queen was. You know, and if anybody's seen Tornado, you know, you've seen the video of Tornado. If you look at some of her matches, this is why Tornado was able to get 10 comers, you know, 10 people to try to take her on. Because when you see her, you think you would have something that could, you know, she gave room for you to think that you could do that. You know, that you would have a chance. You bring this dog right here, you could have a chance. But she dismantled 10. Because that's 10 people who thought they had a chance and really didn't have a chance. See, I see so much of that in boxing that I be comparing back to the dogs based on what I've seen. You know, having certain dogs and be like what it would take to beat them. Even dealing with, when we were doing dogs back in the day, we would we looked at them because remember we have back end dogs, and it takes a lot to deal with a dog just strictly trying to get to your back end. The other dog's just not going to let you walk back there. So, what is the talent that our dogs had that they knew how to get back there? That's where we always bought in, that's where we always thought, the craziness. Now, when I say our dogs, I'm talking about not our early years, because in the early years, when you had the judo and the Eli dogs and the rascal dogs, those were different dogs. They were just rough, hard mouthed dogs. They wasn't. Judo was smart, but he was a talented smart dog that knew how to keep out the way, and he had that vicious ass mouth. And boy, when he put all 4 feet on the ground, you were through. He was a terrible, terrible finish. I mean, he would finish you. He was terrible when it came to when he put all 4 down and went in. I guess that I looked at that. That's got to be the Molly B in it, because destruction set in. He was straight in your throat, and bad enough he was already ripped the side of the head off. It wasn't love to be in your face, but boy, when he put all 4 of them feet on the ground, he was merciless. But those were the earlier dogs that things changed when we end up dealing with these dogs on a consistent basis that had this knack about going into the back end. That was just their style. Actually, it made us a lot more respected of the back end dogs, simply because we always felt like a good head rider, would discourage them type of dogs. You know what I mean? Some that just love to go on the leg and try to go up in the chest, because we seen, we had dog like judo. When you see a dog that, regardless of what you put on him, this is what he's going to do, and he knew how to do it. So we got into that liking of, if you had one of them type of dogs, you put a dog like judo, you can slow them down. Or dogs like Crybaby, Solo, Bruiser, chest dogs. Dogs that would just get up in the chest and constant, they just down there. They'll get a leg just to get in there deep enough to get a shoulder. Total destruction when they got to where they wanted. But they knew how to work to get there. Them back end dogs, totally different dogs when it came down to how they got there. Because we had some great back end dogs, fellas. And and enough people knew and seen them, they knew and had dogs, that, bred, come off that some of our dogs. They all were back end dogs, and they knew how to get back there. They were relentless. And I always thought it was that the crazy part, when sometimes you got a dog with aggression and just thinking, and knew how to just, they'll give to be able to get. And I always found that amazing, that regardless of what style a person had or what style a dog might come with, you weren't going to change their type of style. And maybe that's what made them a little better. And maybe that's why we concentrated so much on the keep. You know, Mo was phenomenal having them dogs ready to be able to, regardless of not knowing how long it would take us to actually get back there, but always had the power and the wind in them to get back there, regardless of how long it took. But these dogs were so exceptional that they could get back there with the just that will. And that's how I be looking at certain fighters, like that guy who fought Cruz. He fought a very good, smart fight. And I did think he won that fight. And that's how I would, when I see some of the dogs I've seen over the years that even with them long ones, them ones that, okay, this is an evenly matched up situation. When I be looking at evenly matched up, you got two, I put it like this, when you got two dogs that their thing is two chess dogs. Every chance they get, if you deal with chess dogs, you're going to have a whole lot of this kind of work going on. I've seen a lot of chess dogs become good head dogs because they know control the head, work them down, then they put their feet on the ground, and then they start going to where they want to go. Because when you had two chess dogs or even a good leg dog, the only way you're going to keep a good leg dog out is you got to get down there where he at. See, that back and forth, never like to see two dogs trade. Because at that point in time, and I don't care how early it is, that mouth going to make a difference, man. Whoever down on that leg and you trading, that mouth going to make a difference. You better hope like hell that you biting harder than what he biting or she biting. Because when you trading off like that, mouth is going to definitely show up. And you can generally tell who won in that battle. Because when they trading off, boy, the first one to come out, you know why he coming out. I got to get this bad boy out of where he at quickly. Because this shit hurt. Seen a lot and understood dogs were like people. Good styles, they were they were behind a lot of the great dogs that history that we talk about. Styles always made great matches, great matchups, And then some of these, there's a lot of dogs who had them great styles that had them single losses. You'd be wondering, well, what did it take to beat that dog? Then that's why I always say it's good to always learn your history, read about the fights, understand, what made them so interesting. Because this weekend, the fights was almost, they were refreshing simply because they were all good fights. Good fights due to different styles always made great fights. And I love the outcome. Let me see who I got up in here. Friend unboxing with family unboxing. I want to give a big shout out to my man Big Witch. I see you, fam. My man Double M Desbo in the house. What up, fam? Christian. What up, fam? I see you. My man Talking to City Kennels in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to Heart and Fitness Kennels. What up, fam? Bub Johnson in the house. What up, Bub? Big shout out to Viking Royal Family. What up, fam? If I remember correctly, I think big shout out and a big happy birthday to Viking Royal family. Happy birthday, fam. Big shout out to my man, Deep South Country in the house. What up, fam? Let him know, Vernon Starr. Let him know, Vernon Starr. That damn Wilfred Benitez, well, that was a matchup of matchups. For folks who wasn't around back in them days, you know, them weight classes, them wasn't no cakewalks. It ain't like it is today. You got one or two. And no, when you got a whole division of nothing but monsters, I mean, great matchups. And for me, Wilfred Benitez gave uh, he gave Ray one hell of a fight. And if I remember correctly, I think Wilfred Benitez ended up marrying Sugar Ray's sister, if I believe that correctly. So it wasn't like they hated each other. They were just two great boxers. Once you get in that ring, it's on and popping. I understand you, Eli Monster, but again, he made a great point. You know, you didn't hear much about Wilfred Benitez after that Ray fight, but if you follow and understand the history, what made that fight so great? See, that's the thing about history. Let me explain something to you. We all have our opinion on how this and how that, and your opinion on how things is. But one thing about history, ain't nothing back there you can go change. There is nothing back there you can change. The good thing about history is it's already set in stone. You can talk shit about it, but then how about sitting down and looking at something and then try to explain your point while it's actually happening? I've done that plenty of times. I get people who say certain things like, for instance, y'all know what I do for a living. I'm a service contractor. I service air conditionings. I do all these installs. Um, when you've done as much as I've done, and then you have this, certain people come in and they go to talk. Well, I did this like this, and it worked out like that, and you do this and do that, and that's, to me, that's your opinion. Until I say, well, let me see. And as you're doing it, you know, I want to be able to see how you did it, why you did what you did, and let's see if we come out with the same results. That's the thing about, you know, I be so much on don't talk about it, be about it, because I have caught so many people in my industry like that. You know, go to talking, I'm quick to be like, well, let me see. Getting what he needs just to see. See, this is what the Bulldog game for us was like. We were never known as twins always talk shit. We weren't known for that. Never. We were always known for call away, get a dog. Anything other than that, I wasn't listening to you, because most of the time I'm the one that's going. If it's going to be something to talk shit about, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the loudest motherfucker in the house. And when I'm loud, it ain't me about doing nothing but make it happen, Captain. Type of situation. But in this dog game, it was more history spoke for itself. Once this part of the game was over, it was over. What up? What up? What up? Hold on, Eli. Let me see if I can get you on. Hold on. Bluetooth mode. Let me see if I can get you on Bluetooth here so I can make this a lot. Okay, let me get you in here. I just want to find out what you're saying. That I was saying something about burning. No. No, I didn't say you were saying anything about burning. I was just reading your comment. Oh, I got you. So, no, maybe you just misunderstood what I was saying. That's all good. I can go in 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, whatever you want. Yeah. But, that's what I was saying. It wasn't nothing that you was doing wrong or saying wrong. I was just reading the comments, and I understood, like, Vernon was saying, shit, what's the name? He was... Okay,
Vernon was the man. He knows a lot more about boxing than I do, but I still have my opinion.
Oh, yeah, but then that's the whole thing about it. Everybody got an opinion, right?
I didn't know Vernon was all into that in boxing. Oh, that's cool. I enjoy listening to it.
Well, you know how that is. That's like I feel the same thing about people in these Bulldogs.
You still there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me?
You still there, brother?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you still there, brother?
Yeah. I'm in Bluetooth. I don't know why you can't hear me, but hold on.
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get you on Bluetooth. Okay, hold on. Hold on, right here. All right, can you hear me now? All right, well, I'm trying to see why I ain't got you on the Bluetooth, bro, but I'm trying to get it where people can hear you.
Can anybody else hear me?
Hold on, let me turn this back up. Yeah, they can hear you.
Much love, brothers. Much love.
Hold on, let me get this up here.
But yes, I think Tyson would knock the shit out of Ali. I think in his heyday, he would have ruined Ali. He would have broke his arms. I think he would have ruined him. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Ali.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm still here. I don't know why you can't hear me. Or hello? History spoke for itself. Hold on. Stop that. Hold on, Eli. Disconnected. But I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this back on here. Where'd he go? All right, bro.
Yeah, we good or you not happening?
Oh yeah, you good. I couldn't get the Bluetooth to do what I wanted it to do, but it's all good though.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you first. Are we on?
Yeah, we on.
My son's, he's in the Marines at Camp Pendleton. He's going. He just left yesterday. Go to 29 Palms. Or I guess they're doing a 2-week training exercise. They're probably getting ready to be deployed. So ain't no telling what's getting ready to happen in the world. So I just want to put that out there. You know how that shit goes.
Yeah, 29 Palms. He out there dealing with artillery ranges, so that means that's the artillery boys. They're gonna be getting those mortars and
his whole battalion's going and training for 2 weeks, and he can't talk to me for 2 weeks. So something's getting ready to happen. You know that.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Hey, but everything going on in the world, it worries me, but at least he's where he needs to be. So.
Hey, Eli, big shout out to you, because you're a parent of a Marine, and that right there it's a task in itself, simply because whenever anything go happen, they're always gonna be the first to go.
Yeah, he's 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines out of Camp Pendleton. Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yes,
he's
sir.
My hero.
Yeah, he one of them Hollywood boys.
Well, he's from the East Coast, but
yeah.
He had his choices to go to Camp Lejeune or Camp Pendleton, and he picked Camp Pendleton, which I was pissed about. But he said, "Dad, I want to see the world." I said, "Well, you're going to damn see it." So,
Well, yeah, he down there with Tijuana and that California life, everything cool. I mean, everything. I ain't gonna say nothing about Pendleton because when I first got out, when me and Mo got separated,
Were y'all in Camp Pendleton at all?
actually, my brother got sent to Camp Pendleton and I got sent to Camp Lejeune.
I got you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got that's that little bit of. I think we was apart for like a year. He was in Camp Pendleton and I was at Camp Lejeune, and then he wound up being transferred down there where I was.
I got you. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was at Camp Pendleton, 29 Palms. You know all about them big ass. Your son tell you about them big ass jackrabbits out there look like they're human beings.
No, he's just getting 29 Palms. He's probably there today.
Oh yeah, well, if he gonna be out there in 29 Palms, he'll be able to tell you about them. I just thought I brought it up. They got damn jackrabbits out there, boys, stand like human beings.
I guess all the battalions are going out there to train. That's why I think something's getting ready to happen. I wish they do it anyway, but they're all going and they're all training in a huge thing. That's all he could tell me. He said something's going on. They're probably getting ready to be deployed. Is what I'm told, and blah blah. So everything that's going on in the world,
Well, that's a good thing about it. He training.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it. He fixing to get us.
I'd rather him be with the Marines than any other branch. That's God's honest truth.
Well, he's gonna be able to tell you a whole lot because he's gonna be on them transporters, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be on this big ass ship. You gotta, you know what I'm saying. So this is one of them things, man. You just keep saying a prayer for him, man, and don't worry yourself worrying about him because I can tell you right now, he's training to be what he's gonna always be, and that's a Marine. And don't be worried about him. Be worried about the man that he gonna be people across from him.
Right. Do you know anything about the new I want to talk about this a second. You know anything about the new Humvees, the JLTVs?
Well, the ones that I seen that they came out with, they so technically put together now, man. They almost like baby tanks.
They're all computerized. Or
they got them.
They're not bomb resistant, but they're made for all that stuff. But he's the guy that sits behind the driver and protects the driver, bringing in the troops. Is what his job is. He protects the driver.
Well, if he does that, then because they got them missile detecting things on them now, to where they can divert even them RPGs to be flying. You get an RPG. Yeah. They can even stop them motherfuckers from hitting a regular, Humvee. You know what I'm saying? And they got them sound blasters and shit. Yeah, them new Humvees ain't nothing like the shit that we was dealing with back in the day. Them damn things that they dealing with now.
They got vehicles. He can't even take pictures of it and show me.
Yeah.
So there's vehicles here now that I can't even send you a picture or take a picture of it. But they're badass.
Oh yeah, they got some shit. Trust me, man. The
Marine Corps has changed a lot. I mean, I don't know the Marine Corps, but their vehicles and their everything has changed a lot.
Make the killing efficient.
They had to make the killing field a little bit more efficient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Remember when we was in there, look, Marines used to get the hand-me-downs from the Army.
Not no more.
Not no more. Now they got the high-tech, I mean, everything from the rifles to the drone to the anti-tank guns, even the damn helicopters. See, we used to have them Apaches. Them Apaches used to give you hell. But now them Apaches...
you had Cobras.
No, we had Apaches.
In the Marines, you had Apaches?
We had Apaches.
I didn't know that.
No, we had Apaches.
Huh.
Yeah. I think Army had the Cobras. We had the Apaches.
My wife's father was in the CIA for 20-some years, and one of his good friends I had dinner with, which I'm poor as shit, but he's like, what do you do? And I said, well, I clean carpets and upholstery. I said, what do you do? He goes, well, I'm a general for a Cobra squadron from the Marine Corps.
Hmm.
I was like, well, I think you're doing a little better than I am.
Well, he pulled your leg because we didn't have no Cobras. We had Apaches. We had
The Marine Corps had Cobras.
Well, I didn't see no Apache. I seen nothing but Apaches, and I was a radio communicator.
That's crazy.
Second Combat Engineers, and trust me, I worked at
You were a
headquarters.
combat engineer?
Yes, sir. Third
Well,
Battalion.
I tell you what, you're a smart MF. I'll tell you what, because you ain't no bullshitter being a combat engineer.
Not working at headquarters.
Smart people are combat engineers.
Well, that's what I was. Second Combat Engineers, worked in communications.
I had no idea,
For
bro.
headquarters.
Hey, much love, man. I had no idea. You got to score like a 86, 87 to be a combat engineer.
So I was 110, so I was automatic. That's why I never left Camp Lejeune and I never left headquarters.
Well, guys, I know we're not talking about bulldogs, but I'll tell you one thing. This man is a smart SOB. Because that is incredible.
Well, Marines ain't supposed. We wasn't really treated like everybody else, where we had to take tests to get promoted. Our skills had to be behind our promotion. So,
right.
Mo worked in dispersing. Shit, that's why he went way out to Camp Pendleton, because he was smarter than me.
What was
it? Dispersing. He was a dispersing coordinator. He was the one that paid everybody. He put in all the paychecks, all the leaves, all the
I got you.
All the leave papers and changing duty stations. Yeah, he was smarter than me. See, I still had to go to the field.
Damn, boys.
He didn't have to go to the field.
You are some smart twins. I had no idea. I knew y'all were smart, but damn, boys.
Nah, man, we wasn't. Shit, we was smart before we went to the Marine Corps.
I'm saying, y'all are a lot smarter than these people on this internet know you are. Because I study this shit because of my son, where he's at. So I know what I've read. So I've never been there, but yeah. Well, you know what? I always tell you guys, thank you for your service. You know all that.
I appreciate that, fam. You know what's it's always like that. I don't run around and talk about how smart I am. I just think people just think we, because we deal with bulldogs or something. We stupid or something.
Well, well, this will be the end of it. Like I always tell, me and you talk all the time. You meet some of the smartest and the nicest, and you meet some of the dumbest and the piece of shittest in the bulldogs.
That's true. I guess that would be in everything you do, but in these bulldogs, I met a lot of smart ass people. A lot of people that even when we were doing our shows and a lot of the guys would come down and visit, they would be like, kind of looking at us like, damn, y'all, why is y'all doing this? You know what I mean? Because, like, to them it was just unusual. Well, I felt the same way when you start talking about doctors and football players and everybody else. But you got all that going for you. Why are you doing this? Because it's the love of the game. So it's not a matter of how smart you are. It's just how much you love what you do. And the dogs was just something we love what we do.
Well, I studied dogs for 3 years before I even got one. And the first one I got was a pit bull because I found out what I wanted. I studied every breed, everything about them, everything. No, excuse me. The first one I got was an American Bulldog. The second one I got 6 months later was a pit bull. And that was that champion lefty bred stuff that was near me. But that's how I got into bulldogs.
Okay.
But yeah, I studied them for years. Every breed, every bloodline, everything. And then that's how I got into bulldogs, and then found some of the best breeders, what I wanted was in my area. I know we're getting off subject, so we can go from wherever.
So I understand where you're coming from because remember I was down there in your area, and get where you think we got our, we
Yep.
being Marines, and then who else was down there with us? He was still in the Corps when we was down there.
Shit, I was going when I was in college, getting bulldogs. I was
Who's
going
that,
down
man?
to Jacksonville all the time.
Who's that?
Ed
Nah,
Barrera. You remember
he
Ed
was
Barrera?
in the Marine. Yeah, he was in the Marine Corps with us, but he was older.
Ed Barrera, say a guy named Inky, Little Joe. There's a bunch of boys that were in Jacksonville. I'm just throwing up a few names. That's 20-some years ago.
Yeah. See, Perry Powell was in. We was on. He was actually still in the Corps when we was there.
Yeah, I knew the name. I've never met the man, but I definitely knew his name.
Yeah, he had the termite dog, but yeah, he used to be running that motherfucking dog.
Well, that's why
From main side all the way to the front gate and all the way back. Yeah, he was a bad boy now.
That's why I went to Jacksonville to check out the termite dogs.
Yeah, well, that's where Perry was. So.
And actually, the first time I went to Ed Barrera's yard, he told me he had Miss Leakey. And I said, well, what? You have Miss Leakey? And I'd just been told a few months beforehand that Miss Leakey had been stolen. So I called Tom Ratliff. I said, Mr. Tom. He said, yeah, what's up? I said, well, this man down here says he's got Miss Leakey. But I guess Tom went down there and found out it wasn't Miss Leakey. It was, I guess, a daughter of Miss Leakey or something. And he's like, he's a crazy old man. Just, he's just trying to sell you something. But yeah, they were going down there and getting ready to knock down doors.
Yeah, I got to do a story. I'm trying to do a show about all the great dogs that got stolen, and you wonder if the people who stole them, if they ever did anything with them. You know what I mean? Are they some of the secret unknown breedings that we have out here? Because there's so many that got stolen that you just know if somebody ever bred them, what ever came out of it.
They can't use that. I mean, they can't use it on their paperwork, or they shouldn't. I mean, like Patrick and them have, but I wouldn't. But I guarantee you, me and you know, I'm sure there's a lot of stolen dogs that's in bloodlines.
Oh
that's
yeah.
Not correct.
Oh yeah. That I do believe.
Oh yeah. I mean that's 100. I mean, there's one thing I hate. It's a dog thief. But I mean, if you had a great dog and you put some name on it, your name or whatever, I mean, and make your blood better, people are going to do it.
That's always.
Yeah.
Well, Monster, big shout out to you for calling in, fam. Big shout out to your son.
Get back to your chat. I love you guys.
Love you too, man. No hard feeling. I was just reading the chat, man. Y'all wasn't going back and forth. I was just letting you know, man. Wilfred Benitez, he was about that life. He really was.
He was what?
He was about that life. That him and that Sugar Ray fight, it was a great fight. Did you ever see it?
Sugar Ray and who?
Wilfred Benitez.
I don't know if I've seen that fight or not. I'm a big boxing fan, and I've watched him forever. But I mean, if I have, I can't remember, man.
Yeah.
My mind's, ain't 100% these days. But
yeah, he was a good.
I study boxing. I'm a Marciano. I'm a Ali. I'm a early Mike Tyson. I mean, all them guys. I love it all. And even Roberto Duran was one of my favorites, man. Hands of Stone. I used to love watching him. I mean, he's gotten his ass handed to him, but I tell you what, he could take a hit, and he could give one also.
Yeah.
You gotta like the ones that stay in there and keep doing it, even if it's later in their life. You know what I mean?
Well,
And,
I love boxing like I love dogs. I mean, I'm not like some of the guys that do today because me coming from my era, I I look down on some of the shit that I see nowadays because nowadays it's just like everything else that happens now. The judges ain't shit,
right?
the promoters ain't
It's
shit.
all about them. It's all about the
It's
money.
just a different game. You know what I'm saying? So I be feeling the same thing about the boxing as I do about the dogs. It ain't. It's just not what I'm used to. But
Yeah. And
the love of it, I still love it.
I miss old George.
Yeah.
Old George Foreman when he came back out of retirement. I mean, I knew he. Well, I didn't think he was gonna make a championship, but he'd be a champion. But damn if he didn't. He could take a hit and keep on coming. He was like the Energizer or the Everetter battery, whatever the hell it is. Keep on coming.
They just go to show you how hard the man could hit.
Oh, George could hit.
Yeah. Well, back in
Yeah,
Ali's day, there was a whole lot of guys back in that could hit hard, but because of Ali's ability to be a good boxer, he just a lot of them fights that he was winning. He would, this dude. You read the story on him, he would tell you some of the hardest people that he was in the ring with, and
Yeah,
who
what was the one Foreman said was the hardest puncher he ever? Not Ken Norton. What was the hardest puncher he ever? God, what was his name? Everybody said it was the hardest. Got started with the E. His last name was the E.
Ernie. Damn.
Yes. You're exactly right, sir. Yeah, it's an E. Everybody said it was the hardest puncher they'd ever win against.
I know Ernie Shavers was a hard hitter, but
I think it was Ernie Shavers.
yeah, he was a hard hitter, but it was another one up in there that was hitting harder than Ernie. But I can't remember his name. He was actually up out of Cleveland, Ohio. I cannot remember his name, but my age got me going. But it was a bad boy who Ali, between him and Ernie Shavers and this other guy, man, them boys was hard hitting. But yeah, thanks for coming by. You know what I'm saying, fam?
One thing. I think Marciano would have broke Ollie's arms.
I think Marciano was
He's slow, dumb.
No, I mean, come on, man.
Everything else, but he would have stayed in there and broke Ollie's arms. But I don't know who would have won. But I'd like to think Marciano would. That's just because I like them old school Dempsey, friggin' all them old school guys that would just get down, take a punch, and give it back. Cause that's what my grandfather was. My grandfather was in Golden Gloves. He would take 10 to give you 2 and knock you out.
Well, Marciano to me, and if you just look back in that time period, he was an early version of Mike Tyson.
Yep.
The same success that Mike Tyson got in his time period was the same success that Marciano had in his time period. It was very unusual, unorthodox, but he could fight, hard hit, knock you out, and
It take a lot.
He didn't run into boxers, a Muhammad Ali or a Joe Louis or he.
Don't get me wrong, Muhammad Ali's the best boxer that's ever lived. I mean, boxing wise, but as a fighter, to me, there's a couple others, but that's all opinion.
Man, you got the Brown Bomber.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. I mean, putting Ali. I mean, to me, Ali bought. Put like this: Ali brought boxing to the forefront as far as us in color, because he was boisterous. He was outspoken.
Yep.
Everybody else. You think about all the other black boxers prior to him. They didn't get their recognition till after the fact.
After they won, but there was a lot of great boxers.
Oh yes, sir. It was a lot of great boxers back in that time period. Ali, he just brought a little bit more voice and attitude. Spoke up more, where everybody else was humble. He wasn't humble.
What was the one right after too. I can't remember his damn name. I
Joe
can see him
Lewis.
right now. Who?
Joe Lewis.
No, it's not Joe Lewis. It might have been the one before him.
What?
God.
Sonny Liston.
Dark? No, not. I know Sonny Liston like back of my hand. I'm talking about before that. Is
Ezra
really
Charles.
really dark skinned, bald headed, hard hitting son of a bitch, big, goddamn big son of a bitch.
Jack Johnson.
It might have been Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson, he was actually the first black heavyweight champion.
That might have been him.
Yeah.
I'll have to look and I'll put it on your chat.
Yeah, but you gotta, man, you had people like Ezra Charles, all kind of, it was some bad boys. He
was the destroyer.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I'll let you go. Get on your channel and I'll be on.
All right, fam. Thanks again for stopping through.
All right, brother.
Yeah. One. Good, but like, same thing in the Bulldogs, fellas. If you look back on time and you just, time don't change. Remember, we can always talk about the best boxers and, like we're doing now. But we could do the same thing with the dogs. If you could take some of them old dogs and try to compare them to what some of the new stuff, everybody would have the same complaint as we have now about the 90s and the 80s and the 70s when it comes to basketball, football. Look, over time, things always seem to change. And every generation is going to look at it and see it in a different, form. So that's what opens the doors to opinions. You were only good as the time that you were created in. And we can say that about every sport, even dogs. The thing is, how are you going to shine in your generation when it comes down to what you're doing in that time? Yeah, because the fall off, the competition, things are just different. And again, I put it like, this time period is like the time period back in the Tudor time. Because back then, they was just creating. Didn't everybody have them? Only way you was going to get involved is you had to have something to get involved with. It's kind of like where we at nowadays. Time will repeat itself, and this is just one of them times. So, hey, look here. Glad y'all hung out with me. Remember what I said, we talking Bulldogs today. Got the call-in number over there. This is Mo's idea. He want to get back in the swing of things. He didn't want to talk about nothing that I talked about. He just want to talk about dogs. So I'm going to turn this over to him. Ain't good to have you back, bro. I mean, I guess everybody thought like you was over there dying, didn't they, man? Yeah, what's wrong with Mo? What's wrong with Mo? Nah, I told you anytime I could, when he can't scratch, I told him, don't worry about it, I got it. But he's back. I want y'all to enjoy the show. Show your love. Show your love. You know what I'm saying? And again, showing your love by just showing up and showing out. So from me to you, appreciate that and thank you. I ain't going nowhere. I'll be back. I'm going to be hanging out with y'all in the Shark Tank. So here we go. I hate to have an empty chair, so let him do whatever he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, while he's doing that, let me see what's going on out here. Where my chat go, bro? Where my live chat at? I feel you, Bernie. Jersey Joe Walcott, Archie Moore. Yeah. Floyd Patterson. I feel you, green team. Jack Dempsey. I don't know nothing about that Jack Dempsey. They don't know nothing about that. Ron Lyle. 4 and them. You right. That's one of them hard punching boys they was talking about. Ron Lyle. If not the hardest puncher in boxing back in that time. I have heard a couple people say it. Ron Lyle was a monster. But, again, he was a puncher. He wasn't really a boxer because, you know what? A boxer was whooping up on his ass. But I think that was Ali. He fought Ali. And Ali said that man was the hardest he had ever been hit. And that wasn't a hit that broke his jaw. I mean, Ron Lyle could hit you, you know, in your arm. And he said his arm would whelp up. Yoda, I see you, fam. Big shout out to my man, Mr. William Torres. I see you, fam. Inglewood Kennels in the house. What up, fam? I'm just giving my big shout outs right quick because I don't want to miss nobody. Big shout out to my nephew in the house. Scratch Line News in the house. What up, fam? My man, Mr. Eric Watson in the house. What up, fam? All right, you ready? Here you go. What up, everybody? Let me get my little computer hooked up. You know this thing will freeze up, man. I need that cord out of